What is going on, everyone? It is Armchair. I'm here. We're having some fun, right? We're going to do a little bit of something different. I have been, I feel like, out of the game for a while. Uh, Super thankful for Sportsocracy folks for having me back again. We will be back Sunday. But I thought, you know what? Let's go live and do some draft reviews. I was going to cut these into shorts. I still might do that, but I think that let's do this first. I like this a little more. So we're going to do this. I've got a couple of fantasy drafts that I want to review. You can let me know in the comments if you want to see your fantasy draft reviewed. You can send it to me via Discord. I'll leave the Discord link where possible, but here we are. We are doing a little bit of a live, and honestly is what it is. I'm not super worried if anybody shows up or not. It's not really what we're here for. What we're here for are fantasy draft reviews. So I've got our first draft to review up on the screen right now. At starting quarterback, we have Deshaun Watson, 2 wide receivers, CeeDee Lamb, Jalen Waddle, 2 running backs, Ramondre Stevenson and Miles Sanders, tight end Travis Kelce. Your flex was Calvin Ridley. Kicker and defense, for those that still play in leagues with kickers and defenses, was Jake Elliott and New Orleans. Then on the bench, we have Dalvin Cook, Tua Tagovailoa, A.J. Dillon, Raheem Mostert, Michael Thomas, and Chig Okonkwo. So let's start off with the quarterback position. I think this is a reasonably strong quarterback core with Watson and Watson and Tua. Tua should put up some reasonable fantasy points. I'm not as high on Watson as some others, but he was a reasonably cheap get if you were actually able to get him. So I like the Watson pickup. Wide receivers, Lamb, Waddle, Thomas is a nice stash, and Ridley. Big on Ridley. Think that's huge. Lamb and Waddle, both great. A little light on wide receiver depth. Just like a smidge. You have plenty of running backs here, because as you look at the running backs, Mostert, Dillon, Cook, Ramondre, and Sanders, all in there. So plenty of people to play in your flex if that's what you wanted to do. You could quite easily move Ridley into a wide receiver position if you needed to and move it around. So I think the running backs here are clearly it's clearly the strategy they went with was draft running back early and often and then fill out the rest of the team with everybody else. Defense is defense. Tight end, Kelce hurt probably yesterday. Probably wasn't great yesterday, but Chig Okonkwo is a good flex for that. I'm guessing Kelce went first overall in this league, or first round in this league, and then defense you're going to stream. New Orleans is a good defense, as in like any defense in fantasy football. You'll be fine with that. So I think overall, I'm going to give this draft a B plus. It's an A minus. Let's give it an A minus. So A minus for the first draft. I like the quarterback core. I love the running backs. Your wide receivers leave something to be desired, and tight end is a little light, even though you got the best one. As we saw last night, best one doesn't necessarily mean the only one. All right, let's take a look at another draft. We have a little bit of a lag. That's great. Love when that happens. Draft number 2. Quarterback, we have Justin Herbert, Jalen Waddle, and Mike Williams and Christian Kirk. At wide receiver, 2 running backs are Mixon and Jahmyr Gibbs. Tight end, once again, Travis Kelce. Wide receiver, running back, Miles Sanders. And then on the bench, we have Alvin Kamara, Brian Robinson, Tua Tagovailoa, Michael Thomas, Zay Flowers, and Jameson Williams. Now, this is interesting. Let's start with quarterbacks. I love Herbert this year. I think he's going to take a step. He doesn't really have a choice. He's going to win or he's going to lose. One way or another, he's going to do something. So you're going to see it. And honestly, I think you'll be fine. Tua's made of glass, but can definitely put up points when he's playing. So quarterbacks I like a lot. Wide receivers, once again, we're seeing Jalen Waddle, Mike Williams, and Christian Kirk. I like all of those. I like all those wide receivers. Michael Thomas, sure. Zay Flowers, I like. Jameson Williams will be great if not suspended. And if this is just a standard PPR league, not a keeper, it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Alvin Kamara also suspended, so we've got a couple of stashes here, clearly taking a risk on winning early with what you've got and then going in later with some studs with Williams and Kamara. The bench is pretty good. It's okay. Brian Robinson as your lone running back on the bench is a little light. Miles Sanders, we'll see what Carolina does with him. He's got the talent, that's for sure, but I don't know if it's going to be there. Mixon and Gibbs, excellent choices. Love Mixon, love Gibbs. Sanders and Robinson are good. So overall, I'm going to give this team a solid, it's an A. It's an A draft. You can see what happened here. Tight end is another weak spot once again. People are afraid to draft tight end. Doesn't really make a lot of sense. I don't know why you would be afraid to draft tight end. If you listen to myself or Jeremy Green, you know that tight end is one of those positions where you can make or break your draft. And a lot of people go really heavy on wide receiver first, and I understand why. But don't be afraid to go a little outside the box and go tight end. All right, now let's stop that one. Welcome in while I play around with my gear here. Let's play around with some gear. Let's see what other fantasy drafts we have setting up here. I had a bunch of people share some, but nothing too crazy. All right, let's show you this one here. We'll take a look at this draft. Actually, I'm going to stop that. I'm going to stop sharing that one. I'm going to open it in a browser so you can actually see it. If you're new to the stream, I'd appreciate it if you could drop me a follow. Subscription is always helpful. It allows me to continue to try to do this. I am working my way through trying to become a full-time content creator, but until we do that, we can't do it. All right, so this is an interesting draft. This is a mega interesting draft. All right, so we have MVP Cousins at quarterback, Jahmyr Gibbs and James Conner at running back, Jefferson, Brown, and Watson wide receiver, Cole Kmet at tight end, Packers defense, Tyler Bass at kicker, and just so you can see the bench here, Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas, Dak Prescott, Jerick McKinnon, and Dalton Schultz. Boy, tight end is tough. I'm surprised not to see more tight ends being drafted early on. So let's look at the starters again here. I don't hate Kirk Cousins as a quarterback in fantasy football. I don't think he wins you enough games in real life to make him, a super duper star, but he is above average as a quarterback. So he's right on the average line. Jahmyr Gibbs, excellent choice at running back. We saw last night. If you didn't get a chance to check out that game, you should definitely check it out. James Conner, I hate. Don't love that at all. Especially as your RB2, I think there are probably better options that were out there. Kamara is definitely a great stash. Will help you out when he's unsuspended, but until then, here we are. Jefferson, Brown, yes. Sign me up, A+ for those two. The fantastic choices. Cole Kmet at tight end, I am not sold. I'm just not sold on the viability of the passing game in Chicago. I think the running game is going to be there. I think that Justin Fields is going to have a great year as a fantasy quarterback. I think that Cole Kmet will get some usage, but he threw 25 times, I think 22 times on average. That's attempts, 22 times on average. You've got a wide receiver, 2 running backs, and a couple of other weapons. They probably a couple of wide receivers and a tight end. So there's just not a lot of volume there. So I don't love Cole Kmet there. Christian Watson, what is Jordan Love going to do? I hope Watson gets the lion's share because he's deserving of it. Packers defense is still good. Bass as a kicker is fine. Let's look at that bench again and see what we have. Again, Kamara and Thomas getting a bit of love here. So very happy to see Kamara getting drafted. That's great. I like that. Michael Thomas is okay. Dak is a great quarterback. I don't have a problem with Dak. He'll throw the ball a ton. Jerick McKinnon as a running back. Running backs on the Chiefs aren't really synonymous. Patrick Mahomes was their leading rusher last night. Dalton Schultz at tight end. Sure. B plus. No, B. It's going to be a B for me. I don't think there's enough there for me to give it any higher of a grade. All right, are we ready? Let's take a look at another draft. I have to click around a lot. I'm so sorry. This is just how we have to do it until, I have everything that I need. Let's take a look. All right, so we are looking at Jake here. Jake went Kelsey, Jacobs, Ridley, Lamar, Darren Waller, Alvin Kamara, D-Hop, Zay Flowers, Raheem Mostert, Adam Thielen, Kadarius Toney, RIP, JSN, Singletary, Cooks, Meke, and the Panthers. I love this. This is an A+. This is an A+. Toney is the only odd man out, but look where he took Toney, right? So we've got, you can see my clicker here. First round, second round, third round, fourth round, Lamar. Hell yes. Darren Waller, breakout season, I think, finally, if he can ever stay healthy. Kamara, stash. Hopkins, great. Flowers, great. Mostert will be fine. Thielen, fine. Toney, way down here. Like around the time where Cortland Sutton probably went right before Toney. Samaje Perine right after. Like, this is late in the draft. This is exactly what I would expect. This is a great draft. This is an A+. Great draft. You love to see that when people really get it and they're like, yes, absolutely want to do this. Let's add another one here. I think we're gonna like this one as well. All right. All right, so we have Jalen Hurts at quarterback, Derrick Henry, Kenny Walker, Stephon Diggs, Christian Kirk, Mark Andrews, Miles Sanders, Jets defense, and Harrison Butker as your starters. I like that. J.K. Dobbins, Brandon Cooks, Raheem Mostert, Cole Kmet, Tua, Elijah Moore, and Laporta at tight end. This is also an A, and I'm going to show you why. Hurts, Henry, Walker, you're already ahead. Diggs and Kirk, you're ahead. So you're beating everyone right now. Mark Andrews is the second best tight end you can probably get in this league this year. Sanders, okay, again, we'll see what happens. Jets defense, great defense. Butker as a kicker, Butker will be fine. Dobbins, Cooks, Mostert, Kmet, Tua, Moore, and Laporta are all above average for backers. You could start. Most people are probably starting Kmet. You got three tight ends here. This is what I'm talking about when I say differentiate yourself and change your strategy. When you look at Laporta last night, shows that he's probably going to have a good season. Next season will be better. If you're in Dynasty, I hope you grab Laporta. Tua's fine. If he's healthy, he's going to be fantasy viable. Raheem Mostert, great. Brandon Cooks, he'll be fine. He always finds a way to get catches. It's kind of funny. If you ever watch our Sunday show, always finds a way. J.K. Dobbins, if healthy, again, another solid pick. So I think that's going to do it for some fantasy draft tomfoolery. I am Armchair Commentary. If this is your first time here, I would love it if you could leave that sub. Don't forget to like the video. Let's talk soon. If you want me to review a fantasy draft, send it to me in the Discord. You can find me on all the socials at Armchair Commentary or at Armchair Comment 2. I can't wait to see it. Let's do it again soon. Peace.